Welcome to another edition of the greatest goddamn D&D stream on this world and the next here. Welcome, Goblins under the stairs. You got Solrak the Destroyer here, ready to slash and bash your Sunday night away with the epic crew of Wreckers. We got Fang the Mang. We got Wilmore Charrington, who's been kicked out of his house again. And of course, the greatest goddamn D&D DM in all the land. It's Nate Gonzalez. Take it away, Nate.
Thank you, Solrak the Destroyer, man. Those are getting more and more wild each time. The voice effects on the end there. Thank you, though, for that lovely introduction. And welcome, everyone, to tonight's Goblins Under the Stairs. Welcome back, and happy to be here with you all. Man, we are set here in this Mastaba in Azumar, this necropolis in the desert of Anarok. Let's give you guys a quick little recap before we jump on into this thing, as you guys are face-to-face against this Karishka, the ghost dragon, in this tomb. But yeah, let's give you a quick recap, and then we'll just get right back into this thing, because I know you guys are excited, as am I. But the night began the last time we were all together in combat against 3 Cyclops that you guys all heard talking about possibly eating some nomads that they have captured or scavenging around for some food. You guys all took them down with some quite impressive set of skills and saved those nomads, Ben and Jerry. And upon trying to take a rest, you guys noticed some sort of worm sign in the area, some dust and sand and debris blowing up in the distance, and soon enough, a giant purple worm came burrowing on over at rapid speeds and swallowed Jerry whole as the rest of you tried to run away. But you guys came back together and killed that worm, saved Jerry, of course, and Ben quickly grabbed him and ran out of there, having dealt with enough that day. And so Solrak took the nap of to the necropolis of Azumar and figured it out how to lead you guys over there. And it only took about an hour's time to get you guys over there. And upon arriving, you saw a scene of littered bone ruins, massive whirlwind at the center of the city, just kind of enveloping the Mastaba and lightning crackling throughout it. A little beat up and tired from the battles earlier in the day, Solrak and Fang decided to take a little bit of rest, while Wilmore went around the abandoned city and found a little bit of treasures for himself. And then you guys decided to get back together and push away to the center of the necropolis towards that whirlwind. Just coming in at these high speeds and whipping around with the lightning cracking through it, as mentioned, and been quite impossible to cross throughout it without taking any sort of damage or being swept up and hurt in it. So the Sapphire Sentinel, Frank, he created a pathway for you guys, dispelling an area for you guys to be able to cross through there. And as you guys were getting to the entrance of the Mastaba, a bunch of undead creatures and giant scorpions came emerging out of the sands and crying out for meat and began to attack you guys and trying to get that meat. But you guys were able to fight them off, and lightning struck on the top of the Mastaba, and a giant skeletal corpse animated up there and threw some lightning down at you all, definitely doing a bit of damage. But with some quick thinking of Wilmore, he played his Pipes of Haunting, scaring a bunch of the creatures off. Fang, using his powers of Lathander, he turned away that giant skeleton, scaring him away and getting him to run away. And you guys were all able to push then forward into the entrance of Mastaba finally. As you guys were in there, the Sapphire Sentinel, he seemed to sense something and led you all down stairs, where you found a small hall, a room of sorts with a door at the end of it, covered in glyphs and runes with a shadowy mist surrounding it. And as Wilmore approached, the mist seemed to form like an eye inside of it, and that eye recognized the Sentinel and got really excited and coalesced into a form of this ghostly dragon of Ziskarishka. And she demanded the Sentinel to open up this door, knowing that this is the only way essentially to get into that room is using the sapphire that the Sentinel holds within it and that magical powers, to finally be able to claim that Nether Scroll once and for all after waiting dormant in vigil for all of these years. So after refusing her generous offer and seeing Solrak go for his blade, she said, all right, maybe we will have to do this the hard way, and as long as she gets her Nether Scroll finally, she'll do what she has to. So she reappeared at the end of the hall here, ready to go at you guys. Right before she does, she looks at the Sentinel again, looks at all you guys, says, You have one last chance. Perhaps we can strike a bargain, a deal if you will. You have the Sentinel open the door, and perhaps I'll share some of my own personal treasures with you all.
Well, I think we're only here for one treasure, my friend. And
He
Dad,
can't be bought. Filthy creature. Spit on the ground.
Have it your way then. You see her kind of like begin to plume up, and the whole room almost begins to, or at least that side of the room begins to extend with smoke as her wings expand outwards, and you see her eyes glowing. And I need everyone to roll initiative.
I have time as this is going on to give someone something.
Depends. What are you thinking?
I just want to give Fang my Dragon Disintegrator.
Yeah, you could give it to him. I will let you know that is an attuned item, so it won't benefit from any of the stuff if it's not attuned to. I believe it's an attuned item, right?
Weapon
Yeah, it is.
requires
I think I gave
attunement,
that to him, yeah.
so that doesn't get any dragon damage if
It
it's
does
not attuned to
not.
it.
Nope.
Ah!
It does
hey
not.
Nate, I got a 25 on my advantage roll. It doesn't feed
Beautiful.
into initiative.
Not a problem. 25 it is. High rolls on that. Wilmore, quick on the jump. Let me just add Sentinel. Cool. Wilmore, quick on the jump.
67?
I'm sorry?
I didn't see Solrak's health. 67. That was higher.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, he got a big old lightning hit.
Mhm.
Yeah, so let me go through these rounds here. Wilmer, you are up quick on the jump. You are ready to take your action and do what you gotta do against this dragon.
I am going to. So he's there. These are like pillars, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're doing the moves, right? So I'm gonna go 1, 2. Let me go through it.
Yeah, I realize I don't have grid snapping turned on this. I feel like if I do that, it might freeze. Actually, let's just try it. Let's see how it goes. Actually, no, grid snapping is on, it says.
15, 20, 25. So I'm here with like my back to the pole.
Okay.
And I pull out.
Always is.
Yeah. I got my back to the pole, and then
And
I
he
pull it
pulls
out.
out.
And it's just, I mean, it's just humming, and it's shiny. And I pull out the dragon soul, and I look deep into it, and I kind of hit one of the buttons, and then everybody just like, nobody can see me, but they just see this big blinding light just kind of go out in a 60-foot, just it engulfs everybody, and that's going to be Sun's Radiance. And like, no one really knows what happened, but everyone just kind of feels like immortal for like half a second. So you guys all gain, what's our level? 13, 17 temporary hit points, and you have resistance to all damage. So all damage is halved.
Yep. So
And if Solrak rages, then it's quartered.
Hey,
for him.
well, I think he's out of rages.
Oh, he's out of rages. Well, if you could magically
So
rage somehow.
great for me.
Yeah, that's perfect.
You got me hooked up.
So the Wilmore pulls out, runs up, scoots up against that pole real quick, fumbles and grabs the Dawn Soul real quick, hits the one crystal on it, and whole room just envelops in this massive, brilliant, bright, radiant light. And you guys feel as that light just courses throughout your bodies, this immense strength just come over you, this resilience and resistance, and of course you guys gain a little bit of that extra health as Wilmore grants that to you, and that resistance as you feel the radiant light just kind of create a shielded barrier around your flesh and skin. You guys all begin to just slightly glow a little bit. Beautiful. That is your action.
Bonus action, healing word. I rolled this. I have to roll the 6 separate because my whatchamacallit's not working. So that's 16 health to soul rack.
Hey. Thank you.
And then, I'm hugging that pole with all my might to make sure that, if anything comes out, it's got to go through the pole first. Big pole.
Love that.
That's it.
Hell yes. Okay, so at the at the top of the round, or at initiative 20, that is rather, you see she sees that light just go out, blinding everyone around there and engulfing you guys with this brilliant radiance, and she begins.
I'm the 20. She's 18.
Yes, but legendary. This is a layer action on.
Yeah,
okay.
I got to go
Sorry.
before because I'm awesome.
Yes. She begins to flap her wings, and you guys feel as that ghostly shadowiness just begins to lift you guys up and push you around inside this room. I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw. So the whole room almost gets darkened for a moment.
I get advantage on that, right? Because I can see it.
You do, yes. Oof, bang.
20.
Hold on. I only rolled one, but here's the second. No! Oh, almost nat 20. 16.
All right. 21 is what you need to save.
God damn.
So you guys all take, well, that's a slow roll, 11 points of damage total, and you all get thrown back 10 feet and knocked prone.
Is the 11 half?
already?
No, half of that, so yeah, go in 5 points of damage. And now it's your turn, Solrak. Knocked prone, thrown back against the wall, up against that.
Oh, yeah, make sure you guys added your temporary hit points.
Yeah.
And what kind of damage was that?
It's bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
17 temp. Boom.
Here's a question.
And I also only take half damage on that too.
Yes.
Would I dash and use a bonus action? I have my action surge. I dash over to the dragon and still use that?
Yeah, if you have action surge, then you can use dash as your action or whatever, and then use action surge to do another action.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to. This thing just threw me against the wall. I'm pissed off. And even though I'm not raging, this energy that Wilmore gave me makes me feel like I'm raging. So I'm running through, and I'm gonna go sliding under the Sentinel's legs.
All right. Well, it takes 15 feet of your movement to stand up. So you're dashing, which means you can go. You are dashing, right?
Yeah, right in front of it.
So right in front of it.
Yep.
Perfect.
And then I'm gonna use my action surge and two big slash and bashes with Dawnbreaker.
Go for it.
Okay, let's go, baby. 22.
22 will hit. They are undead.
20 damage.
20 damage. See, it's 9 slashing. Okay. So you watch as, of course, the radiance seems to singe away some of that etherealness from it, but the slash, of course, doesn't seem to do too much damage in general.
And 15.
15 will miss.
Yes.
Do you want to do a bonus action though?
Isn't that my bonus action?
That gives you action surge. It gives you a whole other action.
Oh, so I could still use my demon sword?
Yeah, if that's what your bonus action move is, sure.
Sweet. 17.
17 will hit.
And 9 damage.
Alright, so, yep, you see the flame just kind of singe some of that smoke away too, and once again, the slashing itself doesn't seem to do too much. That's it for you. Alright. You watch as you slice through it a couple times, and that smoke kind of separates and it pulls back together. Not smoke, it's more like, ethereal ghastliness pulls back together, and as that does, you watch as it begins to plume up through its neck and its throat, and that smoke just again begins to plume out all throughout its mouth and covering all throughout this area inside the room here, as it extends its mouth and just watch as this terrifying, cold, freezing breath exudes out from it. I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw. It's a 90-foot cone, so that hits everyone. I don't need to put out the AoE.
That one reroll.
Oh, that was almost a dirty 20. Fucking piece of shit. I hate this ball.
That was 6. Okay, so.
Light dice today.
Or no, was it? No, I gotta roll mine again.
Yeah, roll your skin.
1. There you go. 18.
Okay.
So annoying.
Oh, my dice are slow. I might have to pause it and switch over to Chrome again. Let's see. You guys take 39 halved, 20 points of cold damage. Let me roll on for Frank too. Frank succeeds.
Big Frank.
So he takes half of that 10, and all of you guys, you feel as this exhumed etherealness coming out of its throat just kind of covers your skin, and you're instantly get goosebumps, and you begin to like shiver and freeze almost for a second. You guys begin terrified and frightened of this dragon. You guys all become frightened, and as this cooling chill just goes over your flesh and your skin, you guys all become frozen in place as well, as you guys are all so paralyzed. Frightened and paralyzed. At the end of your turn, you can remake the saving throw.
You said at the end of our turn?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to pause this real quick. I'm gonna put up a little window on here, and I'm gonna switch over to Fire or Chrome because this is being a little slow for me. I think I don't want to go through a whole battle like this, so I'll be right back. Alright, sorry. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and capture the correct window if possible.
It'd have to get off the internet for a second so Alexa can make a call. And then...
Yes, exactly. There we go. We are back.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Live and in effect. We have Frank up now. So Frank, he is not frozen, of course. He hasn't been told much what to do, but this creature, of course, calling out to him and telling him, all sorts of commands and demands. He's not about that, so he is going to come on up and actually he's going to run on over to Wilmore and just kind of put his hand on you, Wilmore, and begin trying to shake you out of it and just give you a help action on your con save. And that is next for Fang.
question about being paralyzed before I decide on what I can do. So I can't move, but I can still like do things that don't require movement. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can't move or speak. You automatically fail strength and dex saves. Attack rolls against you have advantage, and any attack against you within 5 feet is a crit.
Okay.
Anything, can you? So you're
All right.
Can we not do actions too, or is that?
It
What
doesn't
does that
say
leave?
doesn't say you can't. You can do action. No, you literally can't move. So like, if it involves
Yeah.
moving at all, you can't do that.
Yeah,
which
so
involves
you
not,
can't
you know,
speak.
most
So
actions.
unless you can do an action with your thoughts.
Yes.
And then another question.
Mhm.
Because I have a feat that allows me to take an action to take away like being frightened. If I failed the saving throw, would I be frightened again and paralyzed, or would I only remain paralyzed because of the original saving throw I took?
Being frightened is part of what causes the paralyzation. So if you wouldn't have gotten paralyzed, or if you wouldn't have gotten frightened, what's the thing that you have?
No, so it's one of my feats is what was it called again?
Stillness of mind.
Yeah, stillness of mind. So
Yeah, no, so right now you could end your frightened. Yeah, you could end your frightened state, and actually,
no, because I wouldn't be able to take a bonus action that allowed me to attack. So you're saying that if I failed to save, I would then become frightened again.
no.
As if
On
nothing
stillness of
happened.
mind, right now it's just an action that you would use to end this effect, pretty much completely.
Yeah, but I would still be paralyzed, and that's what I'm asking. Like, when I remake the saving throw at the end of my turn, would I become frightened again, or would I only be paralyzed after that point?
Paralyzed. Yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't fully getting that, but I got you now.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. Well then. Okay. So that is what I'm going to do. I
take that back, and because it only says. Listen, it says the frightened creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. Not the paralyzed creature, the frightened creature. So therefore, if you're not frightened, you don't have to make the saving throw anymore.
Oh, really?
You're no longer paralyzed.
Oh, so it takes away the entire thing.
That's how
even
that's
though
how I'm reading it.
Stillness
Yes.
of mind only. Okay.
Because it says the frightened creature can repeat the saving throw,
Yeah.
not the frightened and paralyzed creature. Yes.
Gotcha. Oh, fuck it. I was not expecting that. Okay. So then all right. So I'm ready. So, after kind of getting, just battered by this dragon physically and mentally, I just take the moment to close my eyes, relax, and, kind of become free of all, like evils that might haunt my head at this moment, and take this moment to realign my ki as I feel like a new man and rejuvenated and ready to take on this dragon. And I can start moving my limbs again as I use my stillness of mind to
There you go.
get rid of being frightened and as well as paralyzed. And
yes.
then as my bonus action, I am going to move up right there. And then I will take this opportunity, again, feeling completely rejuvenated, and back to my normal self. I start kind of, my tattoos start to glow as I activate my tattoos.
Cool.
3. And let's see, that one is, all right. And so specifically on my arm, the water tattoo glows. And that is going to be my turn.
Awesome. Fang seems to be able to find that stillness within himself, using the key within and maybe a bit of Lathander to eradicate this paralyzation, this fear that this dragon has eradicated on him. But the dragon sees that and not happy about that. You see he shakes around, spinning around, and whips his tail into Solrak with advantage.
Does it?
25 to hit. And
Yeah, block my wing.
let me see if you can. Because you're paralyzed. I don't think you're gonna be able to do that.
That's if it's actually a movement.
I mean, like, it's a strange one because
But that's tough. I'm gonna take the hit because the way I've been visualizing, I do like something cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I can do it without.
I think that's fair. I appreciate that. So, it's a crit though on you, unfortunately.
I take it back. Fuck you.
Because you are within 5 feet of it. So,
He farts out those goddamn wings.
yeah, that's right. You take. I'm sorry. Ignore that last one. Actually, is it not popping up for you guys? I guess it's not. You take
Close my eyes.
32 points of damage.
It would be regular because it's halved.
And halved.
half,
Yep.
right?
So 16
Yeah,
points of
so it's
damage.
regular.
As he whips his tail around and hits you, and that brings us to Wilmore at the top.
Nate, another question. I don't. So like with my with the diamond in my helm on those actions, does he take? Or so just on his normal turn?
Yeah, that's not his turn. Those are considered legendary action turns.
Got it.
Wilmore.
I mean, I guess I can't really do anything except make con save.
Let's do it. You
have
have
advantage
you have
on it,
advantage on these. Actually, you have advantage on them regardless, right?
Nah, that's only for concentration checks.
No, because you are a halfling.
Oh. Well, that's a 21 anyway.
Brave.
With the regular.
There you
Brave?
go. Halfling brave, racial trait.
I don't think I have that.
That's a halfling trait. All halflings got it.
Hmm.
Um,
Weird.
Good. Scroll down to your racial traits and features and traits, but a 21 saves. So
Boom.
staring at this massive dragon, shrouded in ghostly
Oh, being
etherealness.
frightened. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. You just stare it down and paralyze, and you feel your fingers be able to move again, and your toes also, and you feel yourself being able to get back into this fight and help out as soon as you can, and that'll bring us to Solrak.
So, like, after I wiggle out of it, can I, like, look at Frank and just be like, kill it, dude?
Absolutely. Yeah, he would look back at you and just give you a nod and do it back.
So yeah, I'll do that.
Con save.
It's to me. Oh no!
Boo.
Yeah, you don't need it. You said you needed that 20. You don't need that high of a roll.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
But yes, unfortunately, you just get whipped over with his tail, knocked about, and still terrified of this thing. Unfortunately. All right. With that, though, the Ziskarishka begins to fly over you, and you see its shadowy, ghostly form, like, just kind of like spreads out and then flies on over right behind you guys, passing over and getting.
Do I get a opportunity attack?
No, because he did not leave your space. He's standing right there, and yeah, with that, he flaps his wings once again, trying to knock you guys all back. Solrak, you automatically fail this, but the rest of you guys roll dexterity checks.
And did you see she took 4 damage?
Hasn't been. I guess this will actually be the start of her turn, but yeah, go ahead. This is not considered her action right now, by the way. But 4 damage, I will take that.
Damn it. 10.
There we go.
10.
All right, we back, baby.
Okay, so
And would I have gotten an opportunity attack?
no, because she just kind of flew right over, never got into your space fully. 15 points had, so 7 points of damage to anyone under 21. Sorak, you take that 7. Let's see, what's he get? And you also get knocked prone. Same with Frank. Wilmore, would you roll? 10, 7 damage, knocked prone, and 10 feet back. Boom, 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 boom.
Just bouncing between these pillars.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. With that, the dragon snaps its head around over towards Fang, and Fang, you watch as it takes a large bite towards you. A 22 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
You take 16 points of cold damage, and you feel that coldness just go through your body and slow your speedy monk movement down a bit. Your movement is reduced to half until the end of Ziskarishka's next turn. And
Could be worse.
with that coldness going throughout your body, she reaches out and hits you with a claw. She's getting within 5 feet now. 28 to hit, doing 7 damage, and another claw strike at you. 19.
And I just dodge out of the way of that one.
There you go. Nice.
Roll.
Third time's a charm.
All right. With that, yeah, she gets close up to you and then flies back into the center of the room, just kind of like spinning around, looking at everyone. And
Opportunity attack?
yeah, go for it.
All right.
And just showing her dominance and prowess in this space.
Oh, yeah. 24.
24 will hit.
Nice. Oh, yeah. 13 damage plus 2 is
Nice.
15.
Whoops. That quarter strike or quarterstaff strike just goes through its shadowy, ghostly form and doesn't connect on something solid. And you'd imagine that part doesn't do too much damage, but the elemental part definitely does the full amount of damage that it's intended to. With that, Ziskarishka just gives out this cry to the air. And that'll bring us to Frank, who is prone on the ground. He goes and pushes himself up, brushing off some of that dust and sand off of him, and looks over at this dragon, and he just lifts up his arms and gives a slam, but the dragon's form wisp away and does not get a hit on that, unfortunately. He goes to do it again. This one will hit, doing a bit of damage on that, connecting into the form there. And that'll bring us to Fang.
All right. First things first, I oopsies. I move right in front of this door here, and I'm looking like right in her eyes, and I hold my my quarterstaff up, and like the top of it starts shining this really bright light as I cast Radiance of the Dawn on her. You've got to make. Oh, I'm sorry. Turn undead. Turn undead.
All right. This is a
Yeah, it's
save.
a wisdom. Yep, wisdom save DC 17. And a dragon, they're smart, so but I'm kind of banking on it.
With a 13 on the save.
Yeah.
You watch as she kind of just feels that and lurches back at you and fights against it using legendary resistance.
Fuck you. I was waiting for that.
This
too.
dragon.
Yeah. Dragons, man, the legendary resistances.
All right.
But they only get 3 total. You guys don't know that, but that's how legendary resistances work.
I was about to ask if it's a.
Yeah, they don't get it like
Wait,
unlimited. Yeah.
All right. Oh shit. Can
Frozen, like,
A lot of fight in her still. It does not look like you guys have done much to her at all.
yeah. Can I give someone the help action as a bonus action, or is that a
Nah,
full action?
That's an action, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Bonus action then. I will just kind of prepare myself for whenever she decides to strike next, as I spend a key point to use patient defense, take the dodge action.
Okay, love that. At the end of your turn, then.
Yeah.
Ziskarishka turns back around, looks at Frank, and says, "You want to do this the hard way, don't you? Well then, let's do it." And she goes and snaps another bite down towards him. 16. Frank just kind of dodges out of the way of that somehow. Does not get a hit on him. Yeah. Once again, just gives her the cutthroat. And
Yeah.
Wilmore, you're up.
Frank.
Frank is straight up pimping. She's like right next to me, isn't she?
Yeah.
I miss her.
One. Do I wanna?
You were prone, right? Just so
Yeah.
keep in mind for me.
Yeah. So that's like 20 movement speed just to move one block. So we're gonna move there, and then we are going to kind of scream out to Solrak, "Get your shit together, buddy!" And that's gonna be Bardic Inspiration. So you get a D10 on your next save. And then while I'm standing under her, I'm gonna stab my my Rod of Alertness in the ground. So everyone gets up another +1 to saves and AC.
Wild. Yeah, Wilmore just finds a wedge in between some of these tiles and sticks his rod in there, which again glows out this light. And you guys all feel this, a bit of extra buff, rejuvenation being given by you guys, Lovely and local bard.
I'm sorry, what do we get again? I was reading something.
You get +1 AC and +1 to every save throw.
Oh, nice.
All right, so I'm gonna go with my con.
Yep.
Let's see what happens. So that is 11 so far.
11 so far, and you
So
do
if I
have a
get- so if I get
D10.
a 10.
Oh, that's up to you if you want to use it.
Yeah, I mean, you would need to roll a 10 on it.
I mean, the dice have been fucking me all night. This is where they make up for it. Do it.
He's doing it!
Jesus.
So close. So close.
Listen here.
Oh.
You want to take a level of exhaustion? And I'll allow you
Yes.
to break through?
Fuck yeah.
You have disadvantage on ability checks then. And it's not attack rolls also, I think it's just ability checks.
Yeah,
Would that
ability
mean,
check is not
since I get
saving throws.
advantage on Dex, I just get a normal one on that one?
Not saving throws, just ability checks.
Oh, cool. Okay,
So
cool.
let me
Yeah, all his flying around is a saving throw, right?
correct.
Okay.
I'll take it.
So one level of exhaustion, is disadvantage on all ability checks. Okay, so Solrak, you feel finally just like you're looking around paralyzed in fear and just stunned here. And you hear Wilmer's words just barely in your head just echo out from across the room, and all of this, this help and the Rod of Alertness just spraying out this extra, buff to get you through this, and a little bit inside of you just says, "Solrak, you gotta fucking wake up, boy!" And you hear like your father's voice inside your head for a moment just push you out of this, and you get out of this. A bit exhausted, a bit tired, but enough to get you back into the battle here, and ready to fight. With that, Ziskarishka sees you begin to move around once again, and snaps around, flying just back a little bit. Sees this little guy in front of her, who's just been causing all sorts of problems for her, and goes and snaps down a bite. A 25 to hit.
Shield.
Shield pops up around you as you see her coming down. No problem. She goes in with a claw next. hits your shield once again, goes in with another claw to the side, and once again just blocking with this fury of blows left and right that she cannot seem to break through this. In a bit of a rage, she flies outwards and cries out once again. And with that, will bring us to Frank. You guys can take those conditions off your tokens, by the way, also on your, character sheets. It's all good. Maybe they're not refreshing. There's been a couple of sync issues recently.
And she takes 5 damage, too, by the way.
5 damage, very nice.
Yeah.
Frank up now. He begins to stomp on over heavily towards her and take a couple more slam attacks as he lifts up his big stone fist and one knocks into her, and then it goes and strikes again, and that one hits into her too. Frank does a total of 38 points of damage. But once again, of course, you would imagine these massive, powerful swings, she would be looking a lot more battered and damaged from that, but nonetheless, she is quite still strong and at it. That brings us to Fang as the Sentinel just looks over to you and gives you the cut throat too.
All right. I am again just staring right into her eyes as I reach up for my Helm of Brilliance, and I take away one of my seven remaining diamonds as I cast Prismatic Spray. And
Dex save, right? Is the first one?
Yep. Yep. Dex save DC 18.
It's a 1.
Oh fuck yeah! All right, so I have to roll a D8.
Go for it.
3. So she's gonna take 10
nice.
D6 lightning damage.
Or delayed, sorry.
So this yellow beam of light just emits with all this power from my helm, and right from it is this big old bolt of lightning that goes right at her, and she takes, oh man, I see a lot of 1s, 28 damage. Womp womp.
And that's lightning damage?
Yes.
Yeah. You guys watch as lightning just kind of, like the clouds outside in the whirlwind, just lightning cracking throughout. You see as it just cracks throughout the form of her ghostly form, doing a bit of damage, but still strong and standing tall, and now looking down at Fang with intense visage.
Yep, and then let me just see something real quick for my bonus action. How long does the dodge action last? Until
It was just that turn.
Okay. All right. I will just take a greater healing potion.
Cool.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay. Once again, Ziskarishka slams back into Frank with a tail attack with a 27, doing 13 points of damage on him. Just gets knocked backwards into Soul Rack, still standing up tall, and just looks back at the dragon, pissed off and ready to keep on trying to take her down. And that brings us to Wilmore.
All right, I'm gonna. Is Solrak still prone?
Are you?
Yeah, I'm prone. I have to
Okay.
get up.
Okay, cool.
Is there anything that I could do to help him up if I move over there?
You could. I'd say if you want to use your action, you can pull him up.
Don't use my action like that. Okay. Instead, I will. Yeah, we're just gonna blast her. So first thing, just the kind of horns come up and Hexblade Curse gets cast right on her, and then we're gonna blast away. +4 to damage. That one didn't do anything. 12 to hit.
You strike into the pillar next to her, just kind of going through her smoky form.
23 to hit.
That'll hit.
7, 8, 9, 10. That's 11 damage.
Um,
24 to hit, another 11 damage.
nice. And the +4 is that's force damage also, right?
I believe so. Let me. Oh, it's actually +5, so add 2 more to that.
Nice.
It doesn't say. I guess it's the same.
Yeah, it's probably, I guess,
Bonus
the
to
same.
damage. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it says bonus to damage rolls.
So you see those ones definitely strike her, and you see the smoke and the gasoline just explode out from her, definitely seeming to damage her on those.
And then I'm gonna kind of slide back here to that spot, and or no, I'm gonna slide right here. So I'm kind of behind. I'm using the giant as a little bit of I'm like behind his leg, get a little bit of cover, hopefully, and I'm just kind of like kill him.
All right.
That's it.
He heeds your word, and that brings us to Solrak.
All right, so I'm gonna get up. So I'm not prone anymore, and I'm actually only 10 feet away from it. So, able to get up to it. So I'm trying to do the clicking thing. It's not working.
Let's see, click your
Oh, I'm on ruler. That's stupid. Sorry. Sorry, I'm mass. I gotta look right up there. Ah, it's fine. There we go. I'll get faster.
Yeah, right there, because you can't be in Frank's space. But that's perfect right there.
And I'm gonna take a big old swing. Now I'm pissed, by the way. I've been out staring at this stupid thing. I'm mad, baby. Let's do it down here. 17.
17 will hit.
26 damage, bitch.
Nice. Yeah, slicing through her once again. The slice itself doesn't seem to do anything, but the radiance, definitely with the an undead creature as herself, definitely hurts it.
20. Oh yeah, 24, and that is 20 more damage.
Okay. Another nice slice.
Buddy. I'm going to go ahead and instead of attacking it with demon sword, I throw like holy water at it. Attack.
Yeah, you can. I mean, that should technically be like an action, but I'll let you use that as a bonus action if you want to. Yeah.
Okay, well, I won't do it now. Fuck it. A2.
All right. You smell the ghastliness kind of singe away from her. Looks down at you. You definitely have gotten her attention. Her focus is on that side of the room right now for sure. With that, you guys watch as you have definitely angered her immensely right now, Solrak, and Wilmore, of course, with that Eldritch Blast, as that chilling. You guys can feel the whole room gets cold once again as it comes up through her throat once again. See that 2 damage, and spraying out in that corner of the room against Wilmore, Solrak, and Frank comes another terrifying breath. I need another Constitution saving throw.
Oh, God damn it!
I needed to roll a 6 to recharge that, and I did.
God damn it! I'm fucked. Oh no, well, no, that's just for the regular hit.
22! Yes!
Nice. Wilmore, I will say that you do have advantage on this.
Because it's
Because it
being
is-
frightened. All right.
You have advantage on saving throws against being like this causes you to be frightened, so I'd imagine that's part of it. It doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't do anything.
44 points of cold damage, so that's halved to 22 for you, Wilmore. And Solrak, you get 11 of cold damage. Frank succeeds also; he only gets 11. So Wilmore, you're the only one that is paralyzed.
Is this all half still?
Actually, I'm sorry, you don't get paralyzed this time. It doesn't actually paralyze you this time because you've succeeded out of it. Yeah, so you take 11 total because it was 44. So that's
Okay, so it's just a breath damage.
yes,
Okay.
just the breath damage.
That's well.
Yep, she does that. You guys all feel that freeziness come over your body, but you have shaken out of it once already, and you're not going back into that. And she's going to fly back to the center of the room. Actually, no, she's going to stay up here and end her turn. That brings us to Frank, who a bit cold, a bit shaken up, but he still is able to attack. He does so with a natural 20 as he reboots her with that big old hit. Wow, so 19 plus 24 is 43. Right, Luke? You're muted, but I'm assuming that was you said yes.
Yeah.
And it goes
Said
for it
like
again.
78.
Yeah. 18 will also hit. As Frank just back and forth, pissed off now that she has hurt him and all of you guys quite heavily. That is going to be his turn. That brings us to Fang.
All right. So from where I'm standing, I just kind of like slammed down my quarterstaff as this like tidal wave comes at her from my quarterstaff with a 17.
17 will hit.
Oh yeah. 6 plus, that sucks. 2 is 8. Damn. And we do the same thing again for 18 to hit. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll hit. I think you need to get one more.
Yeah.
Because it's 10, or do you have 15 feet of reach?
15 feet of range.
Nice, yeah.
11 damage
Cool.
plus
Whoops.
2 is 13.
I mean to do that one. 13, gotcha.
And bonus action 14.
14 will miss.
Yep. And that'll be my turn.
Alright. With those few hits, she roars out in rage once again, and see as she swipes her tail across the room, hitting Solrak in the legs, and knocking him on his ass, doing 5 points of damage. 20. I mean, 24 to hit. I guess you could block that if you wanted to.
Yeah, fuck that. He didn't
Yeah.
fucking do shit to me, bitch. Some fucking big ass wings came out this time. And we're like, oh!
Nice.
Remember when I didn't use them before? I'm using them now.
Perfect. Hell yes. And yet you block that out as she thinks she's catching you by surprise, but Solrak is ready for that. And a dragon wing, almost akin to hers, spectral and ghostly and ethereal, comes down and blocks it, and she kind of grits and
And as it happens, and she looks at me in anger, I give her a dog. Behind my
awesome. Wilmore, you're up now. You seem to hear, because you're a little bit closer to those stairs and high past perception, you have heard some scuttering and some movement going on down below, or upstairs.
Thinking. I kind of noticed that, and I remember that she kind of screamed out. I'm like, oh no, no, no. And I'm going to cast Wall of Force on the stairs.
Hell yeah.
And then for my bonus action, that's a 5, right? That's level 5. Bonus action is going to be. Is that a bonus? I don't have that anymore. I'm gonna just drink a potion. Or let me see if I got any good potions. No, I don't have any good potions. I'm just gonna drink a regular health potion.
Okay. Is this one of the ones that you found here in the desert?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bad
Wilmore,
question.
you go to
Question should be asked.
you go to drink that potion, and as you put it to your lips, you see as a mouth of its own forms from it, and a tongue extends out from it, the sharp teeth, and it goes to bite you.
Oh no!
Fucking mimic.
With advantage. 21 to hit.
Nope.
Does not hit you as this potion just in your hands goes to chomp at your face, and I mean, what do you do with it?
I throw it at the dragon.
Yeah, you take this thing.
I just hurl it at her.
Yeah, it should be tiny size, not small, but yeah, you take this thing and you throw it at the dragon, and it goes flying across the room easily, just lands within its space down by its feet, and you watch as this little vial is jumping up in the air and chomping at it.
Get a little buddy. And then I'm gonna crap. And then I'm gonna kind of hide behind this pillar again to get hopefully some protection.
Yeah, Solrak's like, that's not a question you should be asking. It's the one that you marked.
Yeah, man, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, like it could have been like, oh, it's not a regular healing potion. It's a yada yada yada.
You're right. It wasn't a regular
I,
healing potion.
I know this trickery by
Could have
now.
been
It's like-
something cool.
Hilarious.
Right.
End of your turn.
That's it. That's it.
With that, Wilmore, you see running up to your wall of force, bonking right into it, one of these wights, these undead creatures that were outside, and just scratching at the wall and trying to break through it, but unable to do so, of course. Solrak, you are up.
Okay, so first things first, it's Dawnbringer time. Bop, that is a 15.
15 will miss.
Or 22,
That'll hit.
and that is 13 damage.
Nice.
And now I'll use my bonus action to throw holy water since I'm super close to it
Sounds
at
good.
him. So I'm gonna take the flask and just fucking like, fuck you, dragon.
Cool. Go ahead and roll a 2d10. Say it's an automatic hit. You're so close. 9. So you watch as some of that etherealness just kind of smokily and burns away, singes into the air, and definitely seems to have damaged it, actually more than like your slashes have. At least some of them. But yeah.
Would I still be able to take like a action? Or...
No, definitely not.
Okay.
All right. With that and feeling that burn, just cries out in pain and whoosh, whips around her tail at you, Solrak. 16 will not hit, but she's gonna take her
I'm gonna
action.
riposte it.
Sure, go for it.
And I'm going to swing Dawnbringer.
Okay.
To me. Yeah, baby. 27 with 23 damage.
Oof. Let's see. 7 and 9. Cool.
Oh, and I have to add the superiority dice.
That's right. Nice.
It's a 9, baby.
Solid one.
Yeah.
She swings her tail around, you jump over and slash down at it in the same time, cutting in a perfect spot where that radiance just seems to burn away at her form. She looks at you again and roars and takes a big chomping bite at you with a 23 to hit. And with that, you take 12 points of damage, and you feel that coldness course through your body as you are slowed down to half your speed until her next turn. Um,
Oh, and she's slowed down 10 feet because I slashed her.
Perfect. And then she goes and takes a claw at you. Ooh, 29. She will do 19 points, 9 points of damage on you, and then goes and takes another claw attack. Another 28 to hit. Does 7 more points of damage on you. She just cackles, laughing in your face, and says, "I'll give you another chance. You have the Sentinel open the door, and you can live."
Respond.
You can respond if you want.
I'm like pretty beat up right now. Puffing up blood. I'm like, guys. Look back at the guys. I think maybe we should all do the wise decision. I'll turn back to the dragon. Tell this dragon to suck it! Ah! And I'll roar at it.
All right. With that, you see she extends her neck up tall, and you feel a little bit of chill go throughout the room, but not as intensely cold as it has felt in previous times. Frank hears that call, and he goes and reaches out his arms and crosses them in front of his crotch and makes an X form, and then he goes and slams her with a punch, hits her one time, and then he goes and slams her again, hits her a second time, and just 1-2, just knocking her back, and she is, with those 2 hits, looking a little bit more wispy in the air. Not, her form isn't as like congealed and solid. She's definitely looking to spread and looking weaker and weaker. The mimic up now, just chomping around on the ground, trying to bite whatever it can in front of it. You see it jumps up and it goes and tries to bite, but does not grab onto anything solid. This is Wilmore. Once again, you see another white run into the wall and scratching at it and trying to barge its way into here, and cannot seem to break its way in. Fang.
All right, I move up next to Thorak. So right here, looking her like dead in the eyes as I keep coming at her with this tidal wave coming from my quarterstaff. 14.
14 will miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, bring it back. There we go. 19.
19 will hit.
Ooh, 14
Nice.
plus 3, and with that one, the size of the wave is so massive, and it tries to bring her down as I used a key point to use stunning strike.
Okay. Con save,
So
right?
it's a con save, DC 17.
18 on the con save.
Ah, all right. Bonus action. I'll spend another key point. Again, and coming at her with a 22. Yeah,
22 will
baby.
hit.
10 plus. There we go. 14. And for my flurry of bows, as I'm like kind of like holding like the damage up from the wave, I go ahead and like kind of touch one of Solrak's wounds, and let's see how much health, as I use a hand of healing to kind of heal some of those wounds, and he gains 8 health.
Nice. 8 health. Wilmore, did you just take some damage?
No, I just moved and it like reset itself. I've been at 72 for a while.
Sometimes
Cool,
the
cool, cool.
reload's weird.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you took that health, right?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, you feel that radiance go through your body and get a little bit of strength back in you, and ready to hopefully take down this dragon sooner or later before it takes one of you guys down. Anything else, Fang?
That is everything.
All right, Wilmore. Once again, you hear coming down the hall Another one of these whites that just slams into the wall, scratching and trying to maul its way into here. Fang, as you go over there and help Solrak, as this Garishka is not stoked about that, and you see as it whips its tail around, and actually it goes and stands up tall and begins to flap its wings once again, and I think everyone will have to make a dex save. No, just within 10 feet, so not Wilmore. So she starts to fly into the air, bat her wings, and tries to knock you guys back. Dex saves for everyone.
25.
Sentinel fails.
15.
15, okay. Solrak, you get knocked back 10 feet, slamming into this pole right here as you take 8 points of damage. Same with Frank. He gets flown back, almost slams into Wilmore. Skids right in front of him, falling prone. Fang, you only take half of that damage and half of that at that. Because you're... Actually, no, you take none, right? Because you're... Whatever it's called.
Yeah, so, alright, I take half, so I would take 8th damage,
No,
right?
you succeeded. So you take no damage, right?
I mean, you know the spell.
No, it's
I
your
don't.
your ability. Evasion. If you're subjected
No,
to
I
an effect
just-
that
I
allows
just-
you to make a dex saving throw to only take half damage, you take no damage instead.
Oh, yeah.
So with that, yeah, you take no damage. Wilmore, you were up.
I'm gonna step out just a second so I can actually see what's going on, because I can't see anybody's stuff. Oh, there's Solrak. Okay. So we are gonna blast away. There it is. One. Oh, it's spinning. So that's 23 to hit.
Oh, you're-
7.
Is your health at 72?
13. Yes.
Okay. I thought it just said like 20 something a little bit ago. Maybe that was still Rick.
It's
Uh,
been jumping around.
Mine
yeah,
is
no.
mine is 13.
It's been jumping around.
Or no, like in the thing. I haven't like changed the health. Like I saw
In
it
the
like it was at
combat
94
tracker,
for a
yeah,
while.
it's
Yeah.
changing. If you look at the
Yeah.
screen, like mine on the combat tracker says 75, but on the actual my character says 30.
Interesting. I see that too. Okay. But
It's
yeah,
been- that one's
23
been
will
changing.
hit. It's just weird because it
12
gave you a
damage.
concentration check, which means you took damage or your health changed.
Yeah, nah. I think it's just because it just registered it down to 72. The last hit I took like 2 rounds ago.
Gotcha. Okay. That one will hit for sure.
That's 12 damage. 17 damage on a 27.
These are, you see as bits of her starts to fly across the room now. Her essence just being depleted from her.
And 23 to hit, 17 damage again.
And Wilmore, that last Eldritch Blast. How do you do it?
It goes. So like it shoots out, and it like kind of goes through her, like she essences away, and it actually hits the mimic bottle, and the mimic jumps up and like bites her. And she's like, and it just dies.
That's hilarious.
And then I'm like, ah.
Finally give Wilmore a kill, and then that's the way he wants to do it. Let's have it. I love it. With that, you see the whites still clawing at the invisible wall behind you. They see her go down, and the whole room kind of gets filled with this chilled air, and goosebumps filling your bodies. But the creatures who are clawing at this wall see this, and they seem to like begin to backpedal and look around and start to scramble a bit, and they begin to run away as well. This wall is still being held up. Anything else for you, Wilmore? I mean,
That's it.
that's it. Let's drop you guys out of combat, as that looks like.
I'm just gonna blast that mimic one more time now that we're out of him. I'm just gonna like walk by and just like, well, I was like,
And with that, the whole vial just explodes, and little bits of like, what you thought was a potion liquid was actually like, it's like essence, it's blood and whatnot inside of it, just explodes in the room and
I'm gonna
sprays the wall.
I'm gonna take those Well, I guess now we can once we drop out. Like,
All good. Yeah, no,
So I've
free
got-
to do what you want.
I'm gonna like take those two. Well, I mean, I'm sure everybody's gonna talk. I'm just gonna take those other 2 health potions I have and wave my rod of alertness just to detect magic and detect good and evil.
Yeah.
So like, are they mimics?
You pick them up. I think it was only 2 of them total that you had. So the one,
Oh,
other,
yeah.
the one other one you pick up, and let's see. And seems like it's a regular potion.
All right.
Damn
Cool.
it.
Damn it! I was gonna like throw it at people. It would be fun.
It was fun. With that, Frank, you guys are all exhausted, of course, after this battle. Solrak looking very, very beat up and tired. Frank, though, looks to the door and kind of looks at it with a bit of curiosity and a bit of sadness.
What was wrong? You. Oh.
He looks over
As,
at it. Yeah.
As I say, yeah, what's wrong? I'm gonna take out a golden gulp ale. Put it open.
You can chug
Yeah,
that back.
baby.
You, you do have con saves with advantage for being poisoned, so you do get to make those con saves with advantage. It's because you're dwarven armor. You can drink like a dwarf now.
Babe. What do I need? A 15. Oh yeah, 24.
Yeah, easy peasy. You chug that back, and you're feeling a bit rejuvenated, not slightest bit tipsy, but definitely better for what that's worth.
14 back.
14 back, nice. Yeah, Frank, he looks over at the door, though, and just, as you ask him that Wilmore, what's the matter, what's wrong, or whatever, he just looks at it with, like, he tilts his head, and he looks down at the plate on his chest, where it's the blue circle with the gold sun rays going out from it, and he looks down at it, and kind of looks back at you, and he's not quite certain of what to do at this point.
What's the door look like again?
It also all sorts of different types of like inscribed with symbols and glyphs that kind of glow dimly.
Maybe I just kind of like usher him up closer to it.
And he looks at you and kind of squints his eyes a bit, and then stands up tall, kind of gives a nod towards you and then towards the door. And then you see as he reaches up towards his chest, towards that symbol, the blue circle with the gold rays coming out from it, and he begins to turn it and twist it in there. After a few seconds, he removes that from his chest, and it opens to reveal inside of there his sapphire heart. And blue light just bursts from the gem inside of it and hits that double door. The symbols on that door, they begin to glow even brighter with this blue fire, accompanied by a perceptible shudder and a crackle of this magical energy as the doors begin to groan and grind against stone on stone as this door begins to open for the first time in many, many ages.
Right. I think it's time to go see Mr. Hamooks. Or Hamookie, if you will.
Just gives you another nod and kind of gestures his hand up to you to lead the way.
Start moving in.
As we're like walking in, I'm kind of walking next
I
to
got
Solrak.
scared.
I'm like, if I needed the health, Golden Gulp Ale would be tremendous right now.
One, I can stab you. And I walk off and I pop another one.
It only became more difficult for me.
And I walk, drink him up here.
I kind of catch back up. Is it sad that I almost wanted to say yes?
It just means you're one of us now.
I guess that's a good
One
thing.
of us.
Gooba Gaba, one of us. All right, as you guys begin to walk into this
16
hallway,
orb.
descending the staircase, did you roll your con save? Yeah, roll that con save real quick. But yeah, as you guys go down this hallway, descending the staircases, you see on the walls they amazing
20.
1 and a 20. That's great. You see that the walls they contain records of deeds that the Prince Himukai has accomplished in his life, and in this hallway, the plaster and paintings that you see in here, they're perfectly intact. Scenes include images of him tending to welfare of his people in matters of city, reading books and falling in love and cultivating his garden. About halfway down the staircase, the paintings turn to depicting the entombment of Prince Himukai and the spell cast by the wizards of Netheril, and the sealing of the prince in the sarcophagus with the Nether Scroll, and then the return of Ziskarishka and the destruction of Azumar. And as you guys are looking at all of these pictures down this hallway and whatnot, you guys can't help but see Frank is viewing these, and a bit of sand just trickles down from his eyes.
I just kind of put my hand on his leg and go, I know it's tough, buddy, but he lived a great life.
Kind of solemn face gives you a nod, and then you see another painting at the end of the hall here. And it's strange. It's a painting of each one of you guys standing there in this exact moment, standing in this hallway and looking at this painting as well, in perfect rendered detail.
So does that mean that then inside that painting is another painting of us looking at that painting at that exact moment? Inside that painting,
exactly.
there's another, and then like so on, so on, so on.
Exactly. Yep. And you guys all see it, and it's like, you know, how could this be? You know, this is literally this exact moment.
Did
It
you
must
know?
be destiny.
Kind of ask Frank. Did you know?
Just kind of looks at you and cocks his head to the side.
Kind of pointing at the painting.
Shakes his head left and right, but his head peeks around the corner and sees the spacious room with the sarcophagus in it, and you see his eyes go wide, and this face that you guys haven't seen come from him quite yet, and he begins to run down this hall with excitement.
Oh.
I lost my character token, by the way.
I just threw him in there.
Oh, nice.
He makes room for all you guys in there, of course, and you get into this room. It's a spacious tomb that holds this sarcophagus made of stone and covered with glyphs all throughout it, and they're magically glowing. And of course, there's stars on the ceiling as well that are glowing and painted on the stone. And the west wall that you guys can see, there's another painting over there, a beautiful painting of a scene of a river and rolling hills inside of a stone frame etched with symbols.
Take a look at the symbols. Do they look like anything
Does
language
the
in
scene
particular?
look familiar?
You can make investigation arcana roll. I'd say, what were you asking, Wilmer?
Does the scene look familiar, like the area?
Make a history check.
15.
15. The glyphs are somewhat similar to like what you have seen in the glyphs in the book that you all found originally.
11.
11. This place does not look familiar to you. It's a beautiful area. River scene going throughout it, and rolling hills and mountains, and lush green fields, but does not look familiar to you.
Hmm.
Uh,
But Frank goes over and begins to look at this, and a glyph appears on Frank now, and it begins to illuminate as well. At the same time as you guys see that this picture begins to also like slowly come to life. This carved river in this picture begins to flow, and flowering plants begin to grow by the river and take on different colors and start to wave in the gentle breeze. And the stone frame, it, as you guys can kind of deduce from like the glyphs in the book, it looks like it could be a portal to this beautiful place.
Kind of.
Maybe,
Go ahead.
maybe that's where the Nether Scroll is.
I kind of look back at the. I'm assuming that's a sarcophagus, and I go, I think it's a little closer than that.
You think it's inside the sarcophagus?
I think that's I think that might be Hamuki. And I kind of turn and look at Frank. And I go, you know why we had to come here, right, buddy?
Kind of looks back at you, kind of just
I've got like my hand on the sarcophagus.
he's just like kind of waiting. And he looks over at you and gives a solemn like nod, but then looks back over at the painting and looks back at it, and he knows what he needs to do. But Solrak, again, as you look over at that frame, you begin to realize also the symbols around it, with a 15, I'd say, there also are draconic symbols kind of weaved within there too.
let's see, what would that mean to me though?
There's just some sort of writing in the draconic language.
Can't you read Draconic?
I can read Elvish,
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Orvish. Amen.
Oh, but he notices it's a language.
Yeah. I mean, you guys like would know like what Chinese calligraphy is, but you can't read it.
Right. And I mean that was like from like and shit. So makes
Can
sense. I would tell them recognize this writing, read it, but flee.
I'm gonna run my hand across it and cast comprehend languages as a spell, so we don't have to sit on it.
You go ahead and be able to read any sort of language now that you cast a spell, and you begin to put your fingers throughout it and determine what it says. And it reads, "May Humukai find his way to Elysium, and eternal rest for his sacrifice."
Repeat that.
Yeah, I will. I'll send it to the game log. It says, "May Hanukai find his way to Elysium, and eternal rest for his sacrifice." Oh, that did
Maybe
not
that
send.
portal there is Elysium, Paddington.
Well, I think the scroll was buried with him, and I kind of look at the sarcophagus. Is there any, like, does it say "Here lies Humuki" or something like that?
Yeah, it doesn't say necessarily that, but there are intricate carvings on it and runes that match like the protection that is linked to Frank, the Sapphire Sentinel.
I think what we came for is in here. Frank, you know why we came here. Is there could you help us with this? And I start like tapping on the sarcophagus. Hamuki would want this to be in the hands of friends.
Looks at you.
Hamuki would want you to have a say in the saviors of the world.
Make a persuasion with advantage. for calling out his true master's name.
26.
I think your persuasion's even higher than plus 11. You rolled perception, but yeah, so plus 3 on that, so 29.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, add 3 to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Happens to me all the time.
Okay.
I read it wrong.
Yeah, it's the P's, man.
He just looks at you and gives you a solemn face and a nod, and he puts his large stone hands on top of the lid of the tomb, and he begins to slowly push it away. And as he does, it grinds against itself, and you guys can see inside this humanoid figure shrouded with all sorts of types of baubles and gold and treasures, and a gold tube laid on top of him, and a scroll book as well, or a book of sorts, that is. And as soon as the lid opens up, all the glyphs and runes begin to glow with this warm blue light, or this cool blue light rather, and shines in that space. And you guys watch as this humanoid form disintegrates into ash in front of you. And you see Frank's reaches out, and you see sand begin to trickle down his cheek from his eye. As he reaches out, his hand begins to crumble into ash as well, and he dissolves into nothingness except for dust and debris as he vanishes from this space and leaves you guys there.
I look over at Chattington to see. Sad.
Do what?
I look over at you to see how you take it.
And just he completely turns to
just
dust.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, it's one of those things where like I'm refusing to look at him, and I'm just staring at the Elder Scroll, just kind of like, you guys hear me kind of like muttering to myself a little bit, and you guys could just kind of barely something like focus again.
I just kind of tell everyone, well, I certainly didn't expect that. And I kind of looked down in the sarcophagus. I said, "Ooh, the Nether Scroll. At least I think this is."
Christ.
I
You
take
could
out.
at least give him a proper burial, and I'm gonna start like giving him, like a little pile. You guys seen Dracula Dead and Loving It with Leslie Nielsen?
Forever ago,
Classic comedy?
yes.
So, when Dracula dies, Renfield is crying like, "Ugh!" And he's like a piece of dust, and he like puts like a little pile of him together. He puts a little hole, and a little smiley face on him. It's like, I'd like to remember you in the good times.
as like Frank like reached over and was like, he's kind of saying his goodbye and mourning for that last moment before he turned to dust. You guys could literally hear his sapphire heart just crack with this audible pop as well, and he just completely just with that turns to dust in front of you guys. And yeah, it's extremely sad for that moment, but I mean, you guys do see, and you guys are all treasure hunters essentially. This casket full of all sorts of rare valuables, and this gold scroll case covered in runes, and of course within all this stuff as well, you see a gilded and silver sun symbol with the center of it glowing with a crystal with this radiance of the sun within it.
Kind of slowly, so like as I'm reaching in and I'm casting like prestidigitation, just like cleaning it all up. I mean, real respectful, making them look nice. I'd kind of reach out and I'd pull that out, and I'd like compare it. So like the Dawnbringer, mine's kind of got the Lathander stuff on it, and I just kind of like hand it to Fang, and I'm just like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
And
no,
then
that
reach,
seems right.
and then reach back in. I'm assuming there's a scroll in there. Anything else fun?
Yeah, it's their 24-inch long, like 5-inch diameter cylinder made of wood encased in a sheet of gold, with draconic symbols and runes around it. And yet inside of it, you see is, if you were to open it up, of course, is the Nether Scroll of Azumar. You can begin to unravel it if you'd like, but of course there's a few other things in there. There's some gold funerary items wrapped into the prince's shroud, or where it once was. A platinum death mask that kind of sat over his head as well. A sapphire shard made, that was in the prince's right palm, which was his connection to Frank, the Sapphire Sentinel. And then you see the book that was sitting on his chest. You flip through for a quick moment and you see it's like Hamukai's memoirs, explaining the story and the dangers of how he got here, and the Nether Scroll of Azumar in general. And then you also find someone roll a D100 for me, please.
Who's got it? There you go. Big money.
Or
You're sorry. You're so bad at this.
Someone roll a D8.
I mean,
All right, I'll take
got
that. 3.
Okay.
almost as much as my D100.
That's funny. Inside, you also see one vial of a red liquid. It's a larger one, and you guys have seen plenty of these in your time. But this one, of course, has like it's a bit of a different stylized vial than your standard run-of-the-mill magic shop potion. But this is a potion of supreme healing, which is a
Gents,
hefty one.
mind if I do? And I take that.
And as you guys stand in here now, and the lid removes from the casket, and Frank is no longer, Hamukai is no longer, the image on the west wall quickly warps around and changes its image. And inside of that frame now, you can see Osiris standing inside of Candlekeep Library, looking over the book on the floor, scratching his head.
I guess that's our cue to gather everything up and get back through that portal to Candlekeep, guys. And as I say that, I take the Nether Scroll and the crystal, and I'm just like, all right, you guys got the rest. As I just jump through the